Hi, I'm Sarah.
And I'm David. We got to talk about Drag Race Season 13, Episode 14. And Sarah, this season is so long that we are almost out of the pandemic that they shot in.
We went from 4 down to 4, y'all. Such a good use of all of our time this episode. But first, if you're new to this channel, please click subscribe. Give this video a thumbs up.
If you want to support us on Patreon, there's a link in the description.
Yes.
I'm a bit jaded at this point, Sarah.
Oh, no, you're the big super fan.
I know. And this season is kind of making it hard to defend being a super fan. I'm just like, ooh, if this was anybody's first season, I'd be a little bit like, it's not normally like this, I promise. But I think I actually was spoiled on Twitter before I saw the episode, like what happened.
Oh. But
even without that, let's be honest, this was spoiled 6 weeks ago when we knew to get rid of Candy.
Did you say
it's not going to happen?
You're breaking up, but I think you said that they were not going to get rid of Candy. Is that what you said?
Yes, that's what I said, but I hate that I'm breaking up. They're trying to silence me.
They are. They're like, stop it. She's special. Rue loves her, and she will be here as long as we possibly can be here. And you know what? At this point, I'm preparing for her to win the whole thing. But let's not get into it yet. Let's start with the fact that I got a haircut. David was also supposed to get a haircut, so we had new hair together, but we didn't. He didn't.
My hairdresser was not feeling well, so next weekend, fingers crossed. But I love it, Sarah.
So what I did was I asked for curtain bangs, and now I might just be regretting that. We'll see. We're going to give it a week.
Now, here's my question, not to get too much in the hair. But if someone were to say to me, I want curtain bangs, I would think straight across.
Well, you're not a hairdresser.
I'm not. But apparently I don't understand what a curtain is.
Right. You know what? Honestly, Douglas said the same thing. And I had to be like, curtains.
Okay, so it's open curtains. Like we can see through the window to your forehead and the curtains are framing it. Okay.
Yeah, they're supposed to be a bit swoopy. Mm-hmm. Which I guess are kind of swoopy.
They're swoopy.
Anyway, I didn't actually ask for curtain bangs. I sent photos to my hairdresser. She told me they were called curtain bangs.
Got it.
I didn't,
Sarah, I think you got to give it a chance. You just need to figure out how you like to style them before you, give up on this.
Okay, yeah. No, I'm not giving up yet. Please leave me a message in the comments.
Words of encouragement, please.
Do we keep the curtain bangs or not? Anyway, let's talk about the drag queens who are actually professional with their hair. Spoiler alert, this episode's just going to be a bunch of positive notes because we're not getting rid of anyone. And so there's no judging.
Yeah, this is the 5th episode this season where we're not sending anyone home. And the beginning, they're just sort of like comparing wins, like, post Olivia going home. They're just kind of like, where does everybody stand? Simone has 4 wins, et cetera, et cetera. And they're sort of speculating, like, where do we go from here? Like, are we going to have a top 3? Is it us? Is it us 4? Because, like, obviously at the end of the last episode, RuPaul was not like, my top 4, you're going to the finale. So they're all kind of wondering, like, okay, I guess the fight continues, ? And they're not sure. We're sure that nothing's happening, that nobody's going home, but they're not sure.
I thought, no, we will definitely get rid of somebody. This is it. Who's it going to be? We're going to a 3. I don't know why I was delusional, but it was.
Yeah.
Okay, but it doesn't matter. Rue comes in and says, I got a new song coming out, so we're going to make a little music video. We're going to perform to it. Great. Love it.
Yeah.
Love a musical performance. Some people love it more than others. And then also they're going to do this inside drag race inside the actor studio, basically is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And a bowl of Tic Tacs, which obviously is a thing that I just don't understand what's happening.
Oh, yeah. That's been since like season 2, maybe. They do the Tic Tac.
Did they have it last year? I don't remember this being in last season.
Well, I don't recall either.
Yeah.
There's
I think
always
they
some
skipped it.
kind of like we're recording a podcast kind of thing, or you're getting a
Mm,
sit down. Like it used to be a sit down with Rue in drag, I'm pretty sure. And then I think Rue was like, I'm gonna not do that. I'm
yeah.
only wearing drag for the runway. That's it.
Yeah.
But the Tic Tac thing has
Everyone
always been
was
a joke.
soups cash. Like
Hmm.
they were in just like their workroom gear, just like t-shirts.
Yeah.
But there were cute conversations. I mean, it's definitely nice to give this top four, this final four, some time
Mhm.
like that to talk about how, you know, how they've gotten to where they are, what this journey has been like. It is really, really nice. Like Gottmik is first, and Gottmik is just like in such a lovely place. She has had a blast. She doesn't want it to end. She's just having so much fun.
Yeah. It almost was too much fun for me, Sarah. I took a note that like everyone is laughing too hard at everything. Like it's not that funny. You know, like it just feels like a little put on to me that they're laughing so hard at these jokes that are only kind of funny, you know, but I feel like they're just it just feels like they're trying to fill the space because I think they're feeling apart. You know, there's like a plexiglass shield in between Rue and Michelle, and Gottmik is like probably 12 feet away from them on the stage. And so I feel like they're just trying to like fill that empty space that they're feeling. And it's a bit much for me. But I do think that Gottmik's interview goes better than most because she and Rue just seems obsessed with her, like really loves the banter.
And that's really what was telling from this interview is I felt like I was getting insight into how the finals was going to go because you could see it in Rue, and Rue is eating up everything about Gottmik.
Everything.
Loving Gottmik. And well, good to know. Now we know Rue's feelings on that, you know?
Yeah.
And that's okay. Gottmik is charming, lovely. What a great journey, you know? Yeah. Now, Rosé's is a little different.
I thought it was kind of boring. What did you think?
It was very, like, who was it? Kristen just said that it was like a job interview. Oh, sorry, I put up the wrong one. Yeah, it was very much like I feel Rosé because I've also been auditioning for 1,000 years, and like that's how it felt. Like you sat down and you're like, yeah, I've been on this journey where I auditioned and things weren't really working out, and I found this other like outlet, which was drag, and I got to be free. And I'm like, yeah, I got on YouTube and I got to be myself and got to be free. Like it felt like the same, but it's just like a little interview, just like a little job interview, just like a little get to know, which is nice. But there were no extra chuckles like there were with Gottmik. There were no extra like, you're so special. You're so wonderful. There was no extra that. It was just like, awesome. That's so good. You're so talented. That's lovely.
Yeah. Sort of. I mean, I think kind of sticks to this narrative that we got at the beginning of the season of like Rosé is too perfect. It's almost like a wall of perfection that is up in front of her. And we don't really ever get into something like deeper, interesting, complicated, you know? It's just kind of like, you're great. You kind of like have everything down pat. Good for you. But like we're missing that little X factor, you know?
Yep, for sure. Oh, thanks for participating. A little bit like that. Candy is a bit more back to let's just like laugh and have so much fun together.
Let's laugh.
This is a blast.
Let's laugh and laugh at how horrible your looks are. Like that pocket look.
So
how bad was that?
Can you believe it? You came on Drag Race and you brought some horrible looks. Like,
it was so bad. We liked it. You know, like, how about that, Candy?
Like Michelle was like, no, it was really bad. And Candy was like, was it though? And I was like, oh, like I felt like Candy didn't get it. I think Michelle asked a question about like what of the judges' critique struck a chord with you or did you learn from? It was like something like that set Candy up for this like great learning moment. And Candy was like, you know, I'm hard-headed, and so sometimes I'm just like, nah. But then I got it, and I was like, oh, she can't even list. She can't even pick out a piece of advice that like meant something or that she learned from.
I mean, Rue is like so dead set on like, Candy, you are such a special queen. You just have this thing. And I stand by that. I feel like they look at her as another Miss Vanjie. They're like, you remind us so much of her, but she's not the same. She doesn't really have that like lovable quality that Miss Vanjie had. Like Miss Vanjie was also like kind of messy, but she wasn't, I don't know, she had the like star factor that Candy is lacking. And I think that they're just kind of like looking at them on the same plane. And so they realize what a huge star they made out of Miss Vanjie. So like, we could do it again with Candy, but it's like, I really don't think you're going to. I don't think people are responding that way.
They might not be responding that way. I mean, I think that you get a little bit of fame though, right? I mean, Candy will always have this fame.
Oh, I mean, yeah, she's like, people are always going to talk about her. Like, she's an unforgettable figure from this season of Drag Race, but I think in a different kind of way. Like, how did she make it to the top 4? Like, I don't know if it really serves her that well, you know?
Yeah, it is really interesting. I mean, Rue flat out said, like, I think you're so special, or there's something so special about you. And I was glad to hear it from Rue, because again, I'm getting insight on how Rue thinks, and this is Rue's show, and whoever wins is because Rue wants them to win. So
that's right.
It was good to hear from Rue, but I was just like, okay. So that's why she's still here, even though we're genuinely talking about how bad her drag has been.
Yeah. Yep.
They're like, you stumbled a lot, mostly with your looks. And you're like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Why are you saying that to a Final Four?
I know, right? We should not.
Right. Okay, then Simone.
Yeah, I thought this was a great... Simone, I think, is another one that Rue has just loved all along.
Yes. Yes.
And that's why I kind of think like Simone ultimately is going to have the win over someone like Gottmik. Like, I think Gottmik, the audience is obsessed with her in like on the same level as Simone. Like those two to me, based on what I've seen, are like neck and neck in terms of the fandom wanting them to win. Literally, like I could see people being okay with like a dual win with the two of them together. There was already a dual win with All Stars 4 that was like not popular with the fandom, but like it's just so evenly split between Simone and Gottmik that I could see it, but I think Rue prefers Simone. And that's why I think that Simone might be the ultimate winner of this season. But it's just this conversation of like, we love you and we love the character of Simone. They're like obsessed with this character that she's created, this drag persona. And it's a lot of, kind of discussion about that.
And it's nice for like Simone to say, like, grew up with none of this, did not know who I was, did not understand things, and then was able to sort of, like it was like an amateur competition that she won, and like then got a group of friends and could see other lifestyles and understand herself a little bit more. And that's such a lovely journey to see. Like you want to see something like that and know, I understand Rosé's journey and I love what Rosé brings to the table, but it's not nearly as dramatic as Simone's journey, Yeah. So I loved this aha moment that Simone had where Rue was like, using the shyness as a crutch, not to like spread her wings, I think is how Rue phrased it. And Simone was like, whoa, that's an aha moment. So that was nice to see.
Yeah.
Ultimately, Simone's just adorable. So lovely.
Yeah.
And I love watching Simone.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was the interviews. And then we go into the choreography bit with Jamal Sims. Gottmik is like very happy to see Jamal Sims again. She loves
Gottmik.
Jamal
I'm with
Sims.
Jamal is lovely.
And really the only one who's any good at choreography is Rosé, but she just kind of lacks the swagger that Jamal is looking for. But like she's literally like kind of the only one who can hit the steps at all, But
and she's also the only one Jamal actually gives steps. Like Jamal's like, so hey, just go with the lyrics, And then he's like, Simone, just be sexy. Like Jamal came so prepared. He's like, I know exactly how each of you work. But then Rosé steps up and he's like, and a 1 and a 2 and a cross and a hump. And they're all like, whoa.
Yeah. Whoa.
Yeah.
Hey. Okay.
So I love that. But I did love the whole like swagger moment because it reminds me of Dancing with the Stars. Not Dancing with the Stars. So You Think You Can Dance. Do you watch that show, David?
I used to for years and years, yes.
And then like the musical theater or the ballroom people show up and they're like, it's like lower. You got to get in your hips. They're like, get down. And they're like,
it is that.
I'm hip hopping.
No, totally. Because they're so used to having like so much like, their like posture is so perfect for ballroom. And then when they try to do hip hop, it's just so square. Yeah. And Rose is like also kind of coming off square here.
100%. She's like, nope, not getting down into it for this. Yeah. That's not going to work. But yeah, the rehearsal is cute. They're doing it, whatever. And then we actually go to basically this music video that they put together for Rue's new song.
Yeah.
Lucky.
Yep. And well, before we go into the actual song, there was it's kind of a love fest in the workroom, like nothing really to report on the conversations. Right. We do get like a really great confessional moment with Simone where she's like, I love myself now. And I'm like, I love you too. But there's again this moment where they're like just speculating about like how many of us are going to the finale. And I'm like, they wouldn't be putting this in there if someone was going home. Like that's why this soundbite is in there, because they're setting us up for all 4 to go. Like if this were a traditional episode with an elimination, why would we even have this beat? So I'm just like, again, annoyed at this point in the episode that I know what's going to happen. And like, why am I watching this hour,
Okay.
But the music video, I thought had very like Say My Name vibes, Destiny's Child, with like separate rooms with like, defined color schemes. Yeah. And I very much enjoyed that the background dancers were in fencing masks. I was like, okay, we are really protecting from COVID here.
They're like, what other masks can we... Is there no fencing theme whatsoever? Don't care. Bring it on.
It doesn't matter. Put on the masks because they're like
breathable masks,
like helmets.
I really did love the whole vibe of it. I loved the editing, the lingerie looks with the different color. Like I overall really enjoyed the like music video as a whole. But I don't know. Like, I think I enjoyed everybody, but I didn't really go, that was amazing. I loved that.
Yes, I couldn't agree more. Like, the verses are all just kind of fine to me. Like, I feel like none of these 4 really, it's kind of tricky to like do an effective rap. A lot of these girls like put too many lyrics in. We talked about this like earlier this season with some of the other like lyric writing challenges, but they put too many words in. And so they're speaking so quickly that you're not keeping up with what they're saying. And they're also like not professional rappers. So just like make it easy on yourself. Fewer words is better.
Yeah.
But I wrote down like maybe Got Mix was my favorite verse, but it wasn't so far and away better that I was like clear winner of this challenge. It's just like, okay, they're all more or less on the same playing field.
Yeah, I thought everyone did a fine job. I enjoyed everyone's. I understood what Candy was saying for the most part, so I gave her props for that. I do wish that Rose didn't throw in the rap because it didn't really come across as a rap. It was a fine, like, syncopated moment. But there was nothing really rap about it, especially she didn't match it with different dance moves. The whole dance thing felt the same. So it was fine. I think Simone used less words, and I did appreciate that.
I'm just shocked at Simone's uncoordination with dancing because she moves so well on the run. Like when she's strutting down the runway, she's got such a great walk, a great presence. She moves her body in fun ways during lip syncs, but when she does any kind of dancing, I'm like, you are so awkward and uncoordinated.
Love that. Isn't that interesting to see them like? You're talking about Simone, right? You said Simone.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel that way about Got Mick as well. Like Got Mick, every once in a while, there's like an awkward thing, and I'm like, but you're so in your body when you're walking the runway. It's so interesting to like see the difference.
Yeah.
But overall, great, fine, loved it. Yeah. Sure. So now we get loose. drag excellence. So this could be anything. Let's see.
Could be anything. The implication here is best drag, which is like a common final runway theme. And it's sort of supposed to be the peak of whatever your form of drag is. And this is what Gottmik brings. I think it's like, I mean, the makeup, again, like we say it every week, the makeup is so insanely good. These carve outs on her face of color makeup mixed with the black and white kind of, you know, signature clown face is so great. But to me, this look was just kind of like a fun concept and well executed. But I don't think it's her best drag, personally.
Yeah, what is yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's definitely fun. The white is back, which I think she's, you know, saying, well, this is officially Gottmik. But then she like added this. What is this? I'm not sure. It's kind of a Dalmatian spin with what might be like dog hair wig and gorgeous makeup. But the dress has a beautiful silhouette.
Beautiful.
So yeah, I don't know if this is what we're looking for, but it does look very fun, creative, and gorgeous at the same time.
I think maybe it's like, for me, it's as simple as like, maybe the dress just needed some rhinestones, some zhuzh, you know, to make it look more expensive. But still, I think that, like you say, the silhouette is so gorgeous. The fit is amazing. She looks great, but it's just like needs a little bit more, I think, for me.
Right. I see what you're saying. Okay. Good to know. So that's got Meg. Next is Candy.
I mean, I don't know, Sarah. I don't know. It's like a slutty choir robe, kind of like with these like bell sleeves, and it's short and it's.
Okay, so she walks out and I was like, oh, I don't hate it. This is not awful. Okay, that's my first impression. And then her voiceover is like, most people at this finale episode or whatever she called it are going to wear a glamorous, gorgeous gown. But I don't do that. And I was like, wait, what? This entire season, I thought that was your brand of like glam. And she's like, I'm quirky and fun and different, but still a hoe. And I was like, okay, the hoe part I do get. She does like the see-through or, you know, something like that I get. But I was like, in no way do I pick you out as like the cutesy quirky thing. Why didn't she have a glamorous dress? This is the time to do it, right?
This is the time. Like, I think that this is it's a fine outfit, right?
It's
like, I don't
fine,
think she looks terrible. If she wore this for like a church themed runway or something, I'd be like, fun. I love it.
Right. It's a sister act theme.
I think it just speaks to what we've said multiple times before is like, we don't know what Candy's drag aesthetic is.
Yeah.
Like, you just said it. You thought her aesthetic was glam and she came out and said it's not. So like, what is it then? And how does this play into it? I don't really understand.
That's right. She did have to use her final look earlier. That's right. But dang, we should have found you something similar to it, I think. But you know what? It doesn't matter because Candy can show up in anything and they're going to love her no matter what. So her hair, I love this wig. Love this wig. And the makeup's okay.
Yeah, I like the earrings. I think the earrings are cute. But I just don't see it on the same level as what the other girls are presenting for this finale.
Of course. Well, that goes without saying. Rosé.
Rosé. I mean, this walk could not be more dramatic.
I was like, are you getting married? Are you walking down the aisle?
I like that she's like, incorporating the tartan print as like a nod to her heritage. That's great. For me, the wig is a bit flat. Like I just want it to come up a little bit higher on top. I think she looks pretty. I think also maybe just some of the way the dress is cut, like it just isn't the most flattering shape. But I think overall she looks beautiful and the dress looks very well constructed.
Yeah, the dress is gorgeous. And the way that she's walking out, even though it was a little slow, you can pick up a little bit, but that drama is telling us I am glamorous. Like, the way they walk out is half the story here. And the back of the wig is stunning. I love it. I see what you're saying. Like, I would have liked a little peek up here, but I thought the silhouette was gorgeous. I love the cut of the dress. I'm not personally into tartans, but I understand that she is.
Yeah.
So I'm
and
on
the like
board
rhinestone
with that.
gloves, like I think fit well with like the the drama of her presentation with like the white bag, which is popping well. I just think it's a fun finale look, and it sort of feels right for Rosé based on like what we've seen from her this season.
Yeah, this makes sense to me. I understand this for Rosé for sure. Yeah. Okay. And last but certainly not least,
I mean,
gorgeous Simone.
She stepped out and fluffed those sleeves, and I said, Simone got the memo. Like, this is incredible. She doesn't need a rhinestone on this dress for it to look incredibly expensive. The wig, the bejeweled cornrow wig, I think is genius.
Yeah.
10 out of 10 for me.
Yeah. No, this was another moment that Simone stepped out on the runway and you could hear it in the judges going, like, she nailed this.
Yeah.
It's gorgeous. And she said it was purple, but it doesn't look purple to us. And it doesn't matter what color this is. She walks out again. The walk is half of it. Like, she walks out and told us, I feel gorgeous in this dress. And we feel it too. And yes, I mean, I just love that everything she does comes from her lens. Like, we know her brand. We know what her drag is. And she shows it every single time, but elevated.
That's right. And the thing, I think a couple of things make this hit really hard. One is that we haven't seen Simone in a ton of dresses all season. She wears a lot of pants, And the other thing is she has like a very 90s look. This dress doesn't scream that era, but the wig paired with it makes it feel like this is the peak of Simone's aesthetic, like this is the most expensive version of Simone, and it still just feels very Simone, even though it doesn't have that like 90s character to it.
Yeah, I mean, who knows what time period this dress is? Like, this does not
timeless.
Yeah, exactly. Is not defined by any era or decade. And at the very last moment, when she just does her last like pose to walk off, I believe it's Rue that says Cecily Tyson. And I was like, yes. Oh, and like, what a compliment. Like, that is just absolutely stunning, gorgeous, flawless. And then I'm so confused this whole episode. And then I'm back to Simone better win this season.
Yeah. It truly it like, for me, this one and maybe Rosé's are examples of, this is literally the best I've seen you look all season. This really does feel like the peak of your drag. And that is kind of what, good job.
Oh my God, I removed you for a second.
I saw that, and I'm gonna breeze past it.
I meant to remove Simone, and all of a sudden David was gone. I was just so overwhelmed by Simone's look. But yes, I agree. That is the best. Well, Simone's just delivered so many good looks. But yeah, that is the height of what we expect from Simone. And we know who Simone is. And I just love that all around. I have to say that's true about Gottmik and Rosé as well. But I really, really feel it with Simone. So at this point, I don't know the things that you know. And I'm wondering, well, Candy definitely delivered the least in this episode. Is she going to be the one to go? Or do they just not really love Rose because I just don't feel it from them on Rose? Is she going to go? I'm sold that Gottmik and Simone are final. But the judges are now just oohing and awing over everyone. They're giving them lots of compliments. Gottmik is glamorous and creative. Candy, you've got such good fight in you. Couldn't quite compliment her other than you've got good fight.
No. When they got to Candy, I couldn't help but think when Rue was like, Candelisa Muse, and she laughs. I'm sure she was like, I don't know what that means. Like, I guarantee you, Candy does not know who Condoleezza Rice is.
You're right. Didn't think about it, but you're right. Yes. So she has fight. Rose is the total package and professional, and Simone has delivered iconic looks all season. These are the compliments they're getting. And then we get a segment with baby pictures, David.
Oh, this is a staple.
Oh, is it?
I forget when they started doing this. Season. I think it did.
If this happened last season, I missed this entire episode last season because I didn't remember any of this.
Maybe you did, because this has been happening every season for a while. I forget like when they started, but this is just like, I mean, Rue says it in this episode, like this is a really important segment for our younger viewers. And I do think it's really, you know, I watch it and I'm like, oh, that's so sweet. But like for younger people, I think it kind of speaks to the whole, like, it gets better thing that, you know, was popular like 10 years ago. Now we're so old, but like, it's people who are like at the peak of their artistry, their career, like they're really about to, not even at the peak, like about to launch into the highest echelons of this world. And they get to look back at their childhood self and tell themselves like, you're going to make it. It's going to be okay. And that's such an important message.
It really, really is. And in my core, believe in living your true self. And there are tons of people for different reasons who are growing up in situations where they don't feel like they can live their true self. And I want every little person to know that they can. For me, it was as small as just being a vegetarian in the South full of hunters. Like mine's not nearly as dramatic, but I still got made fun of and called a tree hugger, which is the dumbest thing you can make fun of somebody for. But I was like, y'all are all idiots and I'm leaving this redneck area. So like whatever it is at your journey, get out, be yourself and stop being stifled. So I love it. I love hearing all of their little stories and looking back at their little baby pictures. And just everyone was beautiful.
Yeah. And I really was so touched by Gottmik. Like, I just think it is... Gottmik has breathed new life into this show in a lot of ways because she is different from anyone who has ever been on this show. And just the idea that we got your permission to show this photo, I wouldn't have even thought of that, you know, but like, yeah, you should get her permission, you know, because it's complicated, you know, when you've like transitioned and that does not kind of represent who you felt that you were on the inside, maybe, you know? So like, so cool that we got to see that picture and that she was okay with it. But just like literally everything about Gottmik, I'm just like, this feels so new and fresh and interesting and important. And I'm so glad that she is here for people to just get exposure to this.
Right. And I'm so glad that Rue is delivering it in such a positive way. Like Rue is saying, this is wonderful. This is amazing. This needs to be talked about like this. And that's good for everyone to hear it, you know, put out on a positive plate like that. So yes, what a wonderful thing for all of them. And just like, oh, little Simone, I want to be best friends with Reggie and Simone. Like I just love it all.
Yeah. And like seeing Candy's little like baby photo where she's in that like JC Penney like studio setup, I was like the cutest. Like
absolutely so good. Okay, so now Rue is like, y'all are all four gonna lip sync for your life.
Okay. At first I was like, I hate it, you know, just because I'm like, I hate change. I hate different things. So then it's like, you're all going to lip sync individually. I was like, no, I don't want it. And then when I saw it, I was like, oh, this is actually pretty compelling in the edit because they get to just put together everybody's best moments, right? So it's like, cool. This is like a fun thing to watch because it's all the best. But then when it was over, I was like, I have no real sense of how they compare now. Like, I know I just saw them all side by side, but it was everybody's best moments. And we're not seeing that like direct competition. Like, you next to you singing the same lyrics at the same time, who's doing better, you know?
Right.
But we didn't really need that because no one was going to go home.
Yep. I thought the same thing. I was like, oh, okay. The way this is edited is great. We're not like, oh no, we have to watch this again and again and again. So yeah, it was fun visual for us, but I couldn't tell. I was like, who's winning this? I can't tell who's stinking it up here. I don't know. And then I was like, oh, because they're not picking. So
it's just like the whole episode is just a love fest, a celebration of this final four. It's not, and really like, we all knew with the critiques when it was just like positive after positive after positive after positive. If they're setting someone up to go home, there's got to be some kind of negative spin on it, and there just wasn't.
Yeah, and we should not be poo-pooing a love fest. We're here for positivity.
Sure. Yeah,
we enjoy a love fest. It's just that we really did want someone eliminated.
And I think I'm just tired, Sarah. You know, I'm like. The fifth episode this season where nobody went home on a competition reality show.
It's a lot. It's a lot. Someone was saying that, you know, we don't complain about Big Brother being too long. And first I want to say, yes, I do. Big Brother's too long. But it is different because people are constantly going and fighting for their lives and then being eliminated. I don't know. This just feels like we're just hanging out with these people for a really, really long time is how it feels right now. So anyway, we have a final four for the finale, which will be in 2 weeks because next week is the reunion. Now, how does a reunion work? I don't think I know how a reunion works.
Well, this reunion is going to be different.
Okay.
I mean, I have intel, but I don't know what's public yet. So I can't say too much, but I saw a teaser on Twitter today. Like, it's going to be virtual. They're not doing an in-person reunion. Okay. It looks like each of the eliminated queens is potentially like contributing some kind of performance to this reunion, but it'll be different and new, you know? Okay, that's all we got from David. It's going to be different and new. Wow. Thanks for dishing, David. Yeah, you're welcome. Okay, so reunion coming up this Friday that we will talk about next week. Is this something we talk about, David? I think we should, Sarah. Okay. Because, like, listen, I'm here for whatever Tamisha Iman has to say. That's right. Her, you know, I did see the clip of her saying, Candy and I are never going to be friends. And I was like, oh, yeah. Right. That's right. That happens. And I'm excited to see like Denali again, of course. Yeah. And, you know, Lala Ree, Olivia, some of our faves, you know, our confessional fave. Yes. Yeah. Okay, great. So next Monday, week from today, we'll be back with the reunion stuff. And then after that, will finally be the finale. And are you telling me we might have 2 winners? Is that a thing? It's only happened once and it didn't go over well. So I can't imagine that they'd be like ready to do it again, you know? Mm-hmm. But it just feels like I've really never seen like, cause I tend to like, you know, when they post the things on Instagram, like, are you team Gottmik? Are you team Simone? And they're all separate posts. I sometimes like look at the likes on those to kind of gauge like, where's the fandom? I mean, Gottmik and Simone like really could not be more neck and neck. And Rosé is like kind of right there too. Candy is like decidedly in last place, unfortunately for her. But it's just really feels so evenly divided between Simone and Gottmik, and not in a way of like, Simone, no, Gottmik. It's like, we love them both. We can't decide. Yeah. Like that kind of feels like the general sentiment. Yeah, they're both wonderful for 2 completely different things. Like they're so different and so lovely. So, yeah, I mean,
just glad they're both in the finale. Okay,
Me too.
great. So this is exciting. This is going to happen. I'm seeing talk about Australian Drag Race. I don't know when that starts.
May 1st.
Then no, I'm sorry. We can't cover it.
Breaking news, everybody.
Yeah, breaking news. I'm taking most of May off because my sister's having a baby and I'm going to go help the family with a new baby. So shows starting in May are going to be tough. David is, of course, going to watch it. And so that's that. And because also Australian BB starts in or the end of April. So I'm not going to be able to cover that. And I really love that show. I would wish that I could watch it and cover it. But
what about shows starting in June, Sarah?
Well, I will be back for June. Even though family's having a baby, I'm like, I got to squeeze it in and be back before June because a big show happens in June. So I would definitely be back for that, of course. And we do have The Circle starting this week. I do not know what that coverage is going to be, but it's going to happen. So please be subscribed. Get your notifications because at some point I will start recapping that. And that's going to go down at some point. So, yes, excited about our Australian shows, but unfortunately not going to be able to cover them all. Such is life, y'all. Such is life. That's
how it goes sometimes. We can't do everything.
It sounds like our winner picks are Simone.
Yeah, but I want Simone to win.
Yeah, sure. I want Simone
to win. But I would not be
disappointed
with a Gottmik win.
I will not be sad for a Rosé win either. It's not going to happen, but I would not be sad about any of those three winning. But Simone is my pick.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah,
same.
So many shows. We love them all. Beth. We wish we could talk about them all, but
I know
we don't. Okay, what else? We got Big Brother Canada this week. Tomorrow I'm here with Jolene. Thursday, David is here with me. We got some exciting stuff happening in the house this week, so I look forward to talking about that.
And I'm not mad about the way the draft is going currently.
I bet you're not. You're doing just fine.
Yeah.
Just fine over there. All right. I think that's it. You guys, thank you so much for joining us live, hanging out with us in the chat. Talking about your faves with us. I love it.
Yes. And if you're joining us later, did you like this episode more than we did? Were you happy with the Love Fest? Who is your winner pick? And I don't know. Is that it?
And do you like my bags?
Sorry. Question number 1. Do
David,
you like
important
Sarah's bangs?
Things.
Yes.
What do I do with this hair? Okay. Oh my goodness. All right, Lord. You guys. Thank you so much. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.